All right. Well, this is a good morning on Friday, but it's actually Sunday evening as we're recording this. So, good morning, everyone. Good evening, whichever. Maybe you're watching this at a different time. I am here with my friend Beryl, who is from Australia. So, we are pre recording this particular video because the time difference would mean trying to go live would be 3 a.m. her time. And one, I'm not doing that to her. And two, she wouldn't show up anyway. Who would blame her? So this is a pre-recorded video. I hope you enjoy it. Beryl is someone that I also know from Dr. Shannon's neuro coach training. She is one step ahead of me. She actually graduated with her certification as a master coach, whereas I'm just moving into the master coach level right now. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to learn a lot from her in the time working with her in Dr. Shannon's training. And now I get the opportunity to interview her about how she uses this in her business. So, Beryl, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I know, we talked a lot in the last, couple weeks, but I know you've been in business for yourself for a long time, but then the coaching is a more recent endeavor. So how did you get started in coaching?
Coaching arrived because of, if we go into the brain-based stuff, as I call it, brain-based stuff, I lost my husband in 2015 to cancer. So I traveled the world. I had the passion. We had the business, we had the life, we had fun. We did all these things together. And then suddenly I thought I was on my own. I thought I didn't deserve to come back to being me. I'm a very half full person. And I kind of turned into a half empty person for a while. And I didn't like the way it made me feel. And I didn't like the thoughts that were popping in my head. So guess what? I decided to psychoanalyze me.
Yeah.
So, which isn't that where we all start? We all start with our own limiting thoughts, and then I didn't realize how much I'm already coaching people. So I was already coaching people without knowing what I was doing. Now I know what I'm doing. So, but every day is a learning curve. Every day I learn one new thing. So every day I'm happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what kind of coaching do you do? Do you have like a typical client that you work with?
I deal mainly with businesses. And we can use the cliche 20,000 to 100,000, but the businesses that are forever pivoting, they may be a hobby business, which I don't like using that word because again, people think my hobby business is my business. That's their passion. That's their love. So I don't want to be disrespectful to them, but they've got these limiting thoughts that are stopping them from moving forward. And a lot of people my age, and by the way, guys, I'm 60 and I'm happy and I'm proud to be 60. I love who I am. I love what I do. And I'm passionate about being me and helping the people that I can help. So, and the other thing is I want people to say, hey, just because something may or may not have gone wrong, don't let it limit you. Go back to the person you were and have some fun. I'm actually very shy, which a lot of people don't realize that, but I love helping people. I actually like lockdown because then I don't have to talk to people at times, but that's the textile artist side of me that goes into the introvert side. But so many people out there crave, they come to me for what I've got. And I didn't know what I had. And Dr. Shannon taught me that, hey, I've actually got something pretty amazing to teach people that I didn't know. But it's all business. I don't deal with who's not my client is more the person that needs emotional help. I help you with your business. I help you with the limitations and the thoughts and the processes and, all those things that are associated with business that still come from your personal life, because they do put the limitations. Your personal jumps into your business. No matter what anybody says, it always comes over. But but I deal mainly with business people so I can take them to the next level.
Right. I know, just in the several conversations that we've had, every time I leave the conversation, I always have something new that, oh, I just learned this. I need to check into this. I learned about Google My Business and took care of that really quickly after our last conversation. So, that's just, us conversing, just getting to know each other. So that's been a lot of fun. But I know that it's for you, just based on how much I know of you, it's not all about work 24/7. So what are some of your favorite things to do when you're not working on any of your businesses?
What's one of my favorite things is, my first thing is probably walking my dogs, but that's because I rescue Beautiful, and I don't know whether anybody can see it. I do have the Beautiful. He's coming. He's gone again. So I thought I should introduce. He's part of my life. He's part of my studio. He's part of my office. He's part of my kitchen. I love running. But I'm just about to get my second dan in Taekwondo. So I also do Taekwondo. At the moment, I've put boxing on hold because of COVID, but I also box. I also swim, and I love doing hiking. I've done 200K hikes. I've done 200K bike rides.
Wow.
And I did all this that I'm speaking is since 2015, since my husband passed away. When Jared and I used to rock climb, we used to abseil, we sailed sailing ships. So I'm a fairly active type of person.
Yeah.
And when my mind is not working, I make my body work. And when my body works and I take care of my body, my mind turns up. So this is how I deal with me, so that all, and then of course that all comes into my business.
Right.
It has no choice. If my business is, say an example would be, which is where I come from with what I do, an example would be is if I'm having a hiccup, and I call it a boo-boo or a hiccup because I like those words. They're polite and they don't offend anybody. And if I'm having a hiccup that day, I'll go out for a run. So I'll go and do 3 or 4 miles, and I've converted it to miles for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go and do a 3 or 4K mile run with my puppy dogs because it clears my head, and then I come back and then I can do more work. So, but every day I take a break, and every day I take a 2-hour break around 2:30, 3 o'clock. So religiously.
Yeah, I know that's one of the things that Dr. Shannon has mentioned many times in her program, and so I've started to get accustomed to hearing it, that we are fully integrated humans. So what's happening with our family, what's happening with our business, what's happening with our body, with our sleep, with our hobbies, like all of it is interconnected. Now we can choose to prioritize focusing on one thing or another thing, at different times, but really, it does touch on each other and impact each other. And I love hearing how, keeping yourself physically active helps you keep your business, and your mind, really gelling at the where you want it to be. So that's awesome.
But so many people forget their mind, their body, and their body. And I'm kind of passionate about, I can give you an example. I mentor a lovely girl from India that's come to one of the universities in Melbourne. And when I spoke to her, she came 2 weeks, and then suddenly COVID happened and Australia was locked down. So she never went for a walk for a month.
Oh, wow.
She was in her room. She went to the kitchen. She got food. She came back and she did work. She said to me the other day that, thank you very much, because every time I go out for a walk, I come back rejuvenated. Because I'm outside. And we've got to take care of our mental health, especially at the moment. And we are all going crazy. And I know you and I have got different lockdowns. At the moment, Victoria is actually we're the worst state in Australia at the moment. So we've got but I don't allow that to I'll still do exercise.
Right.
Still do exercise.
Yeah. Lately, my favorite actually has been my boyfriend has his parents have a pool. So lately, that's been my favorite thing, is to go and just swim in their pool. We're really staying away from most people, but his parents we've included in a very tiny little circle. But that has been a nice way to just get movement and exercise and enjoyment in my day, and then come back and feel refreshed and ready to go for more. So that's been really nice.
But can I just say something about the swimming? If you're not a swimmer, that's okay, but floating in water relieves your brain. You don't have to swim. You can sit on I don't know what one of those toys called. I don't know what they're called, but that's okay. Floaty thingy.
Yeah.
We call it floaty thingy. You could sit on one of those and just float around, and you're going to recenter your brain.
Yeah, it's been lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So when we spoke the other day, you mentioned a free challenge that you have coming up. So this video is going to go up live on Friday, July 10th, my time. And I think you said that's going to be, your challenge is going to be starting on July 13th.
July 13th, my time,
right,
which is July 14th, your time, which is very confusing. No, hang on. If it's 13th my time, no, it's July 12th your time. I mucked that up because we're ahead, not behind. Okay. So my challenge will be starting on your Sunday, but it's starting on my Monday, which is a bit confusing.
Yeah, and I think from when we talked before, you're going to record it. It'll be is it morning your time, and then it'll be evening my time?
I'm doing 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which will be 2 p.m. Pacific time.
And then 6 or 5 p.m. Eastern time, I think that is, or 6 p.m. But yeah, so even, we can either watch it on Sunday evening when you go live, or we can even watch it Monday when we get up and enjoy it. I'm definitely looking forward to the challenge, but tell me a little bit about what you're doing with the challenge, what you're going to be covering.
There's some areas that I thought I would love to give to people to help them. And I'm going to look at my board because I've got to remember, because this is what normally I have it set up behind me so I can always look up and know what it is. But of course I don't have that today, but that's okay. So the day, it's called Breaking Through Your Income Glass Ceiling.
Nice.
So actually, I think I marked that up. Breaking through your glass ceiling income. Oh, I don't know. I keep refusing. But anyway, because the point is we all put limitations on our life. Day one, and these are the evil words, it's going to be about head, heart, and hands. But day one is definitely about procrastination and perfectionism. We either procrastinate to not get things done, or we make them perfect so we never release them.
Yeah.
So, and
I know we talked about those are like brain releases too, with what we've learned from Dr. Shannon, and they're ways that we try to do it like a brain break and try to keep us safe and familiar. So.
And it's also a little bit about toddler tantruming as well. Where our whole mind does this little toddler tantrum, as Dr. Shannon would say, and I saw it the other day. I did something the other day, and I don't remember what it was, and I could see myself going on the ground in the paper too, and then I'm going, get over it, brain, and I kind of moved on, which is where I identified the fact that I was like I was a second person. I was standing over here. And the person over here was screaming, shouting, stamping the feet, total toddler tantrum, laying on the back, throwing, all those things. Yeah. And that's basically what I want to deal with on day one. I want to help people with some techniques I've developed that allowed me to stand at the sides, take a step back, go, yep, I've done that, now move on.
Yeah, love it.
So Yeah, so that's a little bit about day one. Day two, which I'm going to go back to my board again so I read the words properly this time. Day two is about values, self-worth and respect.
Yes.
So many of us do not respect our mind, our body, or our soul. I'm not an overly religious person, so I don't go into that sort of area because that's just not who I am.
Right.
I'm not saying I disrespect that sort of stuff, but so much of self-worth is what we've been taught as a child.
Mm-hmm.
We need to respect ourselves,
Yeah,
and our body and our heart and our mind, and we need to bring those sorts of things into who we are. And that's really quite important to me. So that one is called, is pricing your product sending you broke? And this is where self-worth comes in, because I'm going back to business. This is where I leave all the other stuff alone and I go into business, because so many of us, and I'm guilty of this. I'll put my hands up. I'm a textile artist. I sell my products. So every so often I go, I shouldn't sell it for that because it's not worth it. Even though I've spent 15 hours developing it and I'm selling it for an hourly rate.
right.
So, because my work is very individual and it's very bespoke when I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is understanding, is pricing your product going broke. I'm not going to be able to afford my electricity bill if I don't price it properly.
Yes.
So they're the limitations that a lot of people put on themselves. Day three is my favorite day. I like day three. Day three is about vision, graphic design, Canva, and it is called, it's passionate, powerful, and memorable are the three things that I like those words. I'm just not going to say them very fast because they won't come out. Achieving your goals with an effective vision. In my case, I'm a graphic designer. I've got a master's of graphic communication. I spent 10 years studying it. So similar to Dr. Shannon and her doctorate, I've done it in graphic design. But graphic design, vision is not just about, it's actually, take it back. Vision, all of it is not about you. It's about who you're serving. And if you don't, they actually don't care who you are. So if you don't have an effective vision that deals with your clientele, with your customers, with the people you want to serve, then, and it's all me based, well, guess what? They don't care. And especially at the moment, I know I keep coming back to that, but people are very me based at the moment, and people need a bit of love. So, and that's what they want to, that's what they want to get out of you. So that's kind of what I want to bring across in day three. Day four, I've got an interview with a business associate, Tiff from Tiffany G Studios. We're talking about how we're actually going to talk about our boo-boos, and we're also going to talk about what's worked for us and what hasn't worked.
Nice.
And the fact that from failure, you learn things. Making a mistake, you learn more. And this comes back into my teaching of my textile art. People were so, it's not the same as yours. You haven't done it. I'm not right. What am I doing wrong? And I said, but what have you learned? This doesn't work. And I said, what is this? And then we delve into what they perceive as their problem that doesn't work. And normally they walk out of the studio going, yes, this is me. This did work because this is me.
Yeah, I have a really good friend who often has said the phrase, set yourself up to succeed. And shortly after I started working with Dr. Shannon and her programs, I actually went to her. We were in the middle of another conversation, and she said that. And I said, yes, set yourself up to succeed, but either way, expect to learn. And so then even if you don't succeed as in the very narrow definition of the word, you're still learning, and that's not failure. It's just learning and opportunities for growing. So I love that you're talking about that in your interview with Tiff. That's great.
But the point is, so many people think that my nemesis is Facebook ads. My passion is SEO, I've forgotten what it stands for. Isn't that terrible? Mental block. Search engine optimization. Sorry, I was trying to, isn't it terrible? I say it, I live this, breathe it. But even when I talk with Tiff's nemesis is SEO, because I think SEO is like spying on a community. It's spying on your customers. It's spying on your thoughts, your feelings, and it's like creating an SEO novel. And as you can tell, I'm quite passionate about SEO, but yeah. But I think it's like a novel. You're writing your own business novel, and it's going to be a spy novel, and it's a spy business novel. And that's kind of how I teach SEO, which kind of gets people over their limiting thoughts, their feelings, their beliefs that they've created, that SEO is this all-powerful giant. Oh no, it's a spy novel. And
it's a lot more fun and less daunting when you think about it that way too. It doesn't, instead of it being, oh, it's just this big monster that like I can't ever understand, it's like, oh no, I get to like go into this mystery novel and explore it and just learn. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that.
It is a black hole. I will be the first one to admit you can go down the technical black hole, but if you go down the technical black hole and not have some fun doing the technical black hole, then why?
Right.
Why?
You've missed the point.
Yeah. So, but if you go down the hole, as I call, and I taught just recently a group of business people up in New South Wales, and by the time I'd finished, they're all going, I don't need this, my customers don't care, it doesn't matter and stuff. By the time we'd finished with all this, they're going, they'd actually implemented half the things that I'd actually said. Wow. And that was my win. I'm just going, wow, you've taken things on that and don't get me wrong, I don't think everything I do is perfect because I'm still learning. I'm just ahead of you on the learning curve. And I think the learning curve, and this is also how I learn, this is also how I teach. I teach with passion. And if I don't know what I don't know, I tell you.
Right.
Because it's, don't lie to people. They know you're lying. Just tell them. But I can teach you I teach people how to, how do I teach people? I teach people how to research. Research what they want, not what I want, because it's got nothing to do with me. It's what they need, and what their customers need. And I'm just the coach on the outside, going, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So then I think you said it's a 5-day challenge. So what's the last day?
Day 5 is going to be Q&A.
Okay.
Day 5 I've called moving forward, taking action, being the best you.
Love
not
it.
Not being me. You don't have to, okay, I turn SEO into a spy novel. Yeah, that's me. I've got a warped imagination that loves doing this sort of things and turning things crazy. But you need to be the best you, not the best me. So I can't be anybody else. I can only be me.
I love that, you're, at the end of this challenge that you're also like really encouraging people to take action. Because I know that's something we've learned from Dr. Shannon. It's like, you can learn and learn and learn all you want, but until you actually start to implement things, you're not actually taking the learning into yourself. You're not, your real learning happens when you try something, when you mess up, when you try it again, when something goes well, like you just learn more by doing. And so I love that you're, get to the end of your challenge and you're like, okay, do something now with what I've shared with you. So it's awesome.
Which is so, but that will light up their heart. And this goes back to the start of my challenge where I go head, heart, and hands. Their head, their heart, and their hands are going to be doing things. And that's going to be amazing. And they're going to move forward. And they're going to love life. And they're going to have, sorry, I'm going to go off on my passion.
You don't need to be sorry. I love your passion, Beryl.
Yeah. So, and definitely on day 5 is Q&As. Even though there'll be Q&As all the way through, because I'm not the type of person. The way I'm going to run the challenge is very much a teaching type challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to have my whiteboard. I'm going to write on my whiteboard. I'm going to put words so that they can follow it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people need, especially when they watch it back in replay, they're going to go, I didn't get this. But then they identify with a word and they go, oh, that's what she said. That's what she meant there.
Mm-hmm.
SEO and spy novel. Are you ever going to forget that? No.
Yeah. Nope. No. Well, this has been so much fun, Beryl. I am so thankful that you were able to come on and, let me interview you. So, but before we completely, wrap up, where can people connect with you? What, how can they find you? What's your business if they want to work with you? Where are you on social media? Just tell us all the things.
Okay. First off, I'm bbkmentoring.com.au. I'm sorry, I'm an Australian site. So that makes me unique, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. You'll find me on Facebook at BBK Mentoring. On Twitter, on Instagram, on bbk.mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of want to change because my VA kind of put a dot in there and I'm not sure I really like that. And on Twitter, I'm also bbk.mentoring.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I can change all that. And you can find me on LinkedIn, but that's BBK Mentoring again. So,
okay.
So any reference to me, I've very much used BBK Mentoring.
Okay.
So you'll find me based on your recipe to success. That's kind of my catch line, because everything's a recipe. Everything we learn's a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have some fun together creating your recipe.
Yeah. Just a pinch of this and a dash of that, right? Mix it all together for something wonderful.
Oh, yeah. And all of it makes up who you are and none of it makes up who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just the facilitator that stands on the outside giving you the tools and processes that you need to make you a better you. Well, not a better you, but the person you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if I used to say to my daughter when she was growing up, I don't care if you want to sweep floors, but if you're passionate about sweeping those floors, you are actually the best of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should be about.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. So, I said that from her from a wee little one, that as long as you're passionate about what you do, then that's all that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Yes. And don't worry, she's an overachiever. So, but I'm used to that. But yeah, so you can find me at bbkmentoring.com.au and you can sign up for my challenge, please.
Yes, I will. I'm actually excited. I know that I'm going to learn so much. Like I said, every time that you and I talk, I learn something new. So I'm really excited for your challenge, what I'm going to learn. I'm looking forward to day 3. I've been playing a little bit with Canva, but I don't have a graphic design background, so I'm excited for what you're going to teach me there, and just every day. But like day 3 is going to be like my favorite one, I think. But maybe you'll surprise me, and they'll all be my favorite.
Okay, so do us a favor. For all those people that come to my challenge, especially with Canva, we blow it up to be this amazing big elephant in the room. No, let's start with things that are simple and keep it all in a fairly small box, and then you won't believe how big that box is going to grow.
Awesome.
But it's little steps. So after my husband died, I had an artist friend that said it doesn't matter how many elephants you have in the room, you can only eat one bite at a time. And so you just move one toe each day, and eventually you don't realize how fast you're rolling. That's me.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, thank you again so much, Beryl. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I will tag you on all the socials when this goes live, and it will be, it'll be Friday, 10 a.m. my time, Friday the 10th. So it'll be right before your challenge, and I'll drop the link so that people can join the challenge. I really hope that we get a lot of people to join us in it, because I'm looking forward to it a lot. So thank you again so much.
Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right.
Kelly. Thank you for inviting me to your people.
Yeah. Anytime. Talk to you
Bye.
soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye.